Hello and welcome to JJK Yoga. We're going to start today's class in a supine position. So come to lie on your mat. You can either have your legs extended along the mat. You can bend your knees, have your feet hip distance or wider and draw your knees in together. Or you can bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees splay out to the side. So find a position that feels comfortable to you. Have your arms down your sides and palms facing up. Then slowly close your eyes and take a moment here to bring yourself to your mat. Now scan your body. Notice if you're holding on to any tension. And then slowly start to bring your awareness to your breath. We're going to move towards our Ujjayi breath, the yogic breath, which involves breathing in and out of your nose. As you breathe in and out of your nose, you create that slight restriction to the back of the throat, which creates an audible breath. So just take a moment here just to hear the sound of your breath. As you continue to breathe in and out of your nose, slowly start to connect the breath with the movement of your torso. As you inhale, allow your belly, chest to rise and your ribs to expand. As you exhale and draw the breath out of your body, slowly start to lift your pelvic floor and draw your belly button down towards your spine. On your next inhale, think about breathing into the sides of the body, really allowing your ribs to expand. And again, as you exhale, keep lifting that pelvic floor, drawing the belly button towards the spine, and just feel yourself falling down into the mat. On your next inhale, think about drawing the breath in from the lower part of your spine and then moving that breath all the way up to the top of your spine, really allowing your chest to expand now. And again, as you exhale, really lift that pelvic floor. Now squeeze your navel towards the spine. Just gently starting to activate your bandhas, your Mula Bandha and your Uddiyana Bandha. Just a few more breaths here now. So maybe for your last few breaths, just draw it down to any areas in the body that you can feel tension. Using the breath maybe to create some space and softness in this area. After your next full breath, slowly start to open your eyes and bring yourself back into the room. So if you've got your knees splayed out to the side, just place your hands either side of your thighs and draw your knees up. If your legs are extended, start to bend your knees now. I want your heels below your knees, maybe about 1 centimetre in front. And then draw your knees, your thighs and soles, the insides of your feet to touch. So you're going to squeeze your legs together. Now as you squeeze your legs together, keep lifting that pelvic floor and drawing your belly button down towards the mat. So you want to kind of keep those bandhas engaged. We're going to do some core work. Bring your hands behind your ears. So fingertips behind your ears, just gently touching the back of your head. And elbows nice and open. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to slowly lift your shoulders off the mat, drawing your chest up towards your knees. Keep the elbows nice and open, gazes forward. Keep lifting that pelvic floor, squeezing navel to spine. Inhale, you're going to lower down, but keep your shoulders about an inch off the mat, and then exhale, come back up. So keep squeezing, really drawing the front body down towards the back body. Inhale, lower. Exhale, come back up. So your exhale is longer than your inhale. Inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. Check in on your lower back. Make sure it's pressing down into the mat. Inhale, lower. And exhale, back up. And then slowly make your way all the way down. Release your hands. Just take a breath here. So we're going to repeat another set of 5. You can keep your feet on the mat, or this time you can raise your feet off the mat. Legs are parallel to the mat, knees stacked above your hips. Keep the feet flexed if you can. Again, fingertips behind your ears, elbows nice and open. Squeeze the legs together. Check your lower back is pressing down into the mat. Lift that pelvic floor. Squeeze the navel towards the spine. Keeping your knees stacked above your hips. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to slowly lift your chest up towards your knees again. So remember, your knees don't move here. They remain stacked above your hips. It's just the upper body lifting. Inhale, lower. Try to keep the shoulders off the mat, and exhale, come back up. Check in on your lower back. Make sure it's pressing down. Inhale, come back down. Exhale, back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. Chin is away from your chest. Inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. And then slowly calm back down. Bring the feet back down if you've raised them. And just release your arms down by your sides. This time we're going to raise our legs up towards the ceiling. So if you have tight hamstrings, just have a slight bend in your knee. Feet are flexed, heels towards the ceiling, toes pointing down. And then you're just going to raise your fingertips up towards your toes. So again, lift that pelvic floor. Really squeeze that belly button down towards your spine. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to lift your shoulders off the mat again, reaching for those toes. Hold it here. Now really connect the lower back down into the mat. And we're going to pulse up slowly for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Really squeeze navel to spine. We're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly lower down. Bring your arms down by your sides, palm facing down. Now, again, flex the feet. Make sure that the lower back's connected to the mat. Pelvic floor still lifted, navel still squeezing to spine. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to slowly lower your right leg down towards the mat. Keep drawing the heel away. Now you want to try and keep it an inch off the mat, just hovering off the mat. And hold it there for a count of 1. And then with control, you're going to slowly inhale and raise that leg back up towards the ceiling. Exhale again with control, slowly lower the left leg down towards the mat. Hovering off the floor, you're going to hold it there for a count of 1. Make sure your palms and your shoulders are down in the mat. Inhale, slowly raise the leg. Remember, if you have any lower back issues, you can always plant your hands underneath your lower back. And as you exhale, slowly lower that right leg back down towards the mat. Okay, just check in on your back. Make sure it's pressing down into the mat. You don't want a gap between your lower back and the mat. Again, we're going to hold it here for a count of 2 now. So keep drawing that heel away. Foot hovering off the mat. And then inhale, slowly raising that leg up. So you're trying to control the movement. Try and go up as slow as you went down. And then exhale, slowly lowering the left leg down. Keep drawing the heel away. Keep lifting the pelvic floor up. So hopefully you're feeling that fire in the belly. So keep that heel hovering off the mat for a count of 2 now. And as you inhale, slowly raise it back up. So with control. Last set. Exhale the right heel down. So you can go a little bit slower this time. And again, we're going to keep it hovering off the mat for a count of 3 this time. And inhale, slowly raise. Exhale, left foot down. Again, once it's hovering off that mat, hold it there for a count of 3. And then slowly raise it back up. Now bring your legs together. So the insides of your feet, knees and thighs squeezing together. Flex the feet, heels draw away, toes point in. So we're going to again do 3 rounds. We're bringing the legs down together and then raising them up again. So press down into your palms and your shoulders. Again, you can plant your hands underneath your lower back if you have any lower back issues. Take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly lowering the heels down towards the mat. Slow as you can. Keep lifting that pelvic floor, squeezing navel to spine. Let it hover off the mat for a count of 1. And then slowly try to inhale them back up. Exhale again, slowly with control. Lifting that pelvic floor, squeezing navel to spine and drawing your heels down towards the mat. Again, keeping them hovering off the floor. This time for a count of 2. And then slowly, again with the control, using your abdominal muscles, raise the legs back up to the ceiling. And then last time down. Let the heels hover off the mat for a count of 3. And then release. Let your feet go down into the mat. Well done. Bring your arms up behind you. Fingertips point away, toes reach forward. Extend your right side, extend your left side. Just give your whole body a stretch. And then slowly bend your knees. Bring your heels underneath your knees. Have your feet and your knees hip distance. Make sure your toes are pointing forward. Lovely. And we're just going to do some active bridge poses here. So to begin with, bring your, press your soles of your feet down into the mat, palms pressed down, shoulders pressed down. And as you inhale, you're going to slowly lift your lower spine, your middle spine, and upper spine off the mat. So really drawing the chest up towards the chin, lengthening the whole body. Imagine the hip bones drawing down towards your knees. And then as you exhale, slowly, vertebra by vertebra, start to bring your back down towards the mat. Tuck your tailbone so you get each vertebra, including the lower back, onto the mat. Inhale, and again, slowly bringing yourself all the way up. Make sure you're pressing equally between the soles of your feet, your palms and your shoulders. Really lengthening the spine as you're up. And then again, slowly, vertebra by vertebra, bringing yourself down. Keep that pelvic floor lifted and navel to spine as you bring yourself down. Inhale, slowly coming back up. So we're just moving the spine in 2 different directions here. And then slowly bringing it back down. This time we're going to introduce the arms. So as you inhale, you're going to raise your arms up and over as you lift. And then as you exhale, slowly bring yourself all the way back. Hands down by your sides. I'm going to do that twice more. Inhale. And exhale all the way back down. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Now draw your right knee into your chest. Use your hands to interlace around your knee. Take an inhale. As you exhale, draw that knee towards your right armpit. So really squeeze it in. You can keep the left knee bent, or you can just extend the leg down the mat. If you're extending that left leg down the mat, make sure it's active, heel pressing down, toes pointing up. Keep that right knee drawn into your chest. And then inhale that leg up to the ceiling. Wrap your hands around your right thigh. Keep the heel drawing away. Just breathing into that right hamstring. You can slide your hands further up your legs if you prefer. Make sure your shoulders are still pressing down into the mat. Now slowly bend the left knee and place the outside of your right foot onto your left thigh. And just use your your right hand to guide that right inner thigh away. So you're just stretching the inside of that right groin and the outside of that right leg. Keep the right foot flexed. Now you can stay there, or you can raise your left foot off the mat, wrap your hands around your left thigh, and as you draw that left leg in towards you, use your right arm to draw the right leg away. So you want to feel that stretch along the outside of your right leg, maybe further up into your hip or glutes. Make sure you're breathing, don't hold your breath here. Find the first juicy spot and breathe into it. Now slowly lower the left foot down. You're going to drop your left knee over to the left, keeping the right foot where it is, so your right foot comes onto the mat. Bring your right arm out and use your left hand again to draw that inner right thigh away. Just hold it there. And then slowly using your left hand, guide that right knee down to the floor, over to the left, coming into a supine twist. And your gaze can be up to the ceiling, or you can just look over your right shoulder. Try to bring that right shoulder back down towards the mat. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back up. You're going to come into a single-legged happy baby pose now. So you want the sole of the feet to be parallel to the ceiling. You can grab the back of the leg. Maybe you can reach the inside of the foot, around the big toe, or the outside of the foot. Left knee can stay bent, or you can extend the leg, making sure that leg's nice and active, drawing the heel down towards the mat, toes and knees facing up. And then you're just going to use your right hand to just draw that right knee down towards the floor. Maybe have a gentle rock here, just really opening up that right hip. Maybe you can feel this at the back of your right hamstring. You can stay here, or you can slowly start to extend your right leg out. Once you find that first juicy spot, I just want you to hold it there and breathe. And then slowly bring that leg back. Bend that knee, place that foot on the mat, bend your left knee, and this time draw your left knee into the chest. Take an inhale as you exhale, keep drawing that knee down towards your left armpit. So the right knee can stay bent, or again you can come onto the heel, slide it down the mat, keeping that leg nice and active, so make sure the foot is flexed, heel pressing down into the mat. Left knee still drawing down towards your left armpit. Now from here, extend your left leg up to the ceiling, hands right around your thigh or slightly further up your leg, but keep drawing your shoulders down into the mat. Foot nice and flexed, just breathing into the back of that left hamstring. Now slowly bend that right knee and place the outside of the left foot onto that right thigh. Keep the foot flexed. Use your left hand to draw the left inner thigh away, just finding that stretch along the inner groin. Hold it there. So if you've got really tight IT bands or left hip, you're going to really feel it here as well, so you can just stay there. Or if you want to go a bit further, you raise your right foot off the mat, wrap your hands around your right thigh, and you draw that right leg in towards you, using your left arm to draw the left leg away. Again, once you find that juicy spot, you just breathe into it. Now slowly place the right foot on the mat if you've raised it, And you're going to drop the right knee over to the right, bring your left foot onto the mat. And this time bring your left arm out and use your right hand again to draw that left inner thigh away. Just hold it there. And then use your right hand to draw your left knee down towards the mat. So try to draw that left shoulder back down to the mat. You can keep your gaze towards the ceiling or turn your gaze over your left arm. Coming into that supine twist. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back. Coming into our single leg happy baby pose. So again, just choose where you're grabbing the back of the foot, the inside, back of the leg, inside of the foot, big toe outside of the foot. Right knee can stay bent or you can extend the leg down the mat. And again, just working into that left hip and hamstring. Maybe a gentle rock here. And again, if you want, you can start to extend that leg out to the side. And then slowly start to bring that leg back. Just have a gentle rock here with the knees in the chest. And we're going to start to make our way to a tabletop position. So in your tabletop position, you can to come into a tabletop position, you can either roll to one side, place your hands under your thighs, and just roll on your spine. So choose the option that feels right to you. We just rock and roll 2-3 times. And then let's come to a tabletop position. So in your tabletop position, I just want your knees directly under your hips and hands directly under your shoulders. Okay. From here, you're going to bring your right foot out to the side. Toes are pointing forward. Keep your left hand under your left shoulder. You're just going to reach your right arm up and over. So coming into a twisted gate pose. Lovely. And then bring that hand down. And then you're just going to come to this position. So just lift yourself up. You can have the toes point forward if it's more comfortable for you, but ideally we want the toes to point to the side of the wall now. Nice. So if you have a tight hamstring, you can have a slight bend in your knee. Otherwise, you're going to bring your right hand down your leg and extend your left arm up and over. Now slowly bring your left hand down to the mat and reach your right arm up and over. Try to keep your chest nice and open. Inhale, come all the way back up. Let's do the other side again. Let's hold it here. Again, keeping the chest nice and open. Gaze can be to the ceiling or it can just be to the side wall. And let's do the other side. Now bring your palm down onto the mat if you can. You can stay here, or now you can start to lift your right leg, bend your knee, and use your right hand to grab that right foot. So just extending that knee behind you. So stick to the pose that's available to you. And then slowly come back up. And then we're going to make our way back into our tabletop position. And this time we're going to step our left foot out, toes pointing forward to begin with. Heel is in line with your left heel is in line with your right knee. Again, make sure your left hand directly under your left shoulder and open, so your right wrist is directly under that right shoulder and open your left arm up. So a nice twisted gate pose. Slowly come back down and lift yourself up into that gate pose. And again, toes pointing forward, or if you can, have them to the side wall. Lovely. Bring your left hand down onto your leg and you're going to raise that right arm up. And then slowly bring your hand all the way over. Extending your left side. And then all the way back. Hold it here. And then all the way back over. So if you can, bring your palm all the way down now. You can stay here and you're reaching that arm away. Or maybe raise your left foot off the mat now. Bend the knee. Grab the back of the foot with your left hand. Drawing that knee back, just extending the left side of that body and that left quad. And then slowly making your way back. Come back into your tabletop position. From here, I'm just going to turn to this side. You're going to reach your right arm out to the side. Make sure your hips are stacked above your knees. And just spread your right arm underneath your left armpit. Coming down to rest on your right temple or cheek. And then extend your left hand along the top of your mat. Breathing into the under part of that right shoulder and along the left side of the body. And then slowly walk the left hand back. Press down into the palm to bring you back up to tabletop. And this time you're going to reach your left arm out to the side and then thread it underneath your right armpit. Again, extending that right arm to the top of your mat. Try to bring the hips over the knees again. Again, extending that right side and the under part of the left arm and shoulder. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Sit back onto your heels now. Bring your big toes to touch. Knees hip distance or maybe a little bit wider. Take an inhale as you exhale. You're just going to walk your hands forward, extending your torso down towards the mat in your child's pose. As you inhale, see if you can creep those fingertips a little bit more forward, extend those hips back. And slowly lift your head, walk your hands to the top left hand corner, draw that right hip back, really extending that right side. And then back to centre, and as you exhale, bring your hands over to the right, bring your left palm on top of your right hand, dropping that left hip down to your left heel. Again, just extending the left side now. And then bring your hands back to centre, just take a couple more breaths here. Really reaching your fingertips forward on the inhale, and extending your hips all the way back onto the exhale, just feeling that extension along the sides of your body. Maybe as you inhale, draw that breath into the backs of your shoulder blades now, allowing the back body to expand. And then slowly bring yourself back to tabletop. This time you're going to bring your hands a couple of inches forward. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Shoulder width ideally, but if you have really tight shoulders, you have them slightly wider. And then tuck your tailbones. As you inhale, we're going to lift our knees off the mat and slowly make our way to our first downward dog. So you can just pedal out your feet here. Bend both knees to one side. Do whatever feels right to you. And then slowly gaze towards your hands and walk towards your feet. Walk your feet towards your hands, sorry. When you reach the top of your mat, bring your feet hip distance. Bend your knees so the top of your chest can connect to your thighs. And then just grab opposite elbows here. Nod your head yes and no. Just releasing any tension at the back of the neck. And maybe sway side to side, just releasing your lower back. And slowly come to stillness. Release your arms, press down into your heels, and as you inhale, you're going to slowly bring yourself all the way back up into Tadasana, mountain pose. Now come to the top of your mat, maybe leave about a footprint in front. And as you inhale, you're going to reach your arms up and over. As you exhale, you're going to slowly swan dive down, bringing your fingertips down to the mat or your shins, and then come up halfway. So your torso is parallel to the mat. Gaze is just in front of your mat. Shoulders are still drawing down your back. Now plant your hands down and step your right foot back. Drop your knee. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, plant your hands down and step back into your plank. So we're just going to hold plank for a moment. So again, check your fingertips nice and spread. Nice wide hands. Heels are pressing back. Draw your navel towards your spine. You want a nice straight spine, nice straight back here. Lovely. And then round through your shoulders. Try not to lock out your elbows here. Now slowly drop your knees down. Hips over your knees. Lower your chin and chest in between your hands. Elbows draw back and scoop your body through as you come into a low cobra. Untuck your toes here. Your gaze is just in front of your mat, so don't fling your neck back. And then slowly make your way back into your downward dog. Lovely.
Gaze between your hands, step your right foot through, drop your back knee, chest forward. Inhale. Exhale, bring your left foot to your right foot, standing forward fold. Press down into your heels as you inhale, roll up, arms up and over your head, hands through prayer. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, swan dive down again. Fingertips to the mat of your shins, inhale halfway. Really draw the shoulders down your back, gaze forward. That's the front edge of your mat. Slowly lower your hands down. This time step your left foot back, drop your knee, chest forward. Plant your hands down, step back into your plank. So remember, if you have issues with your shoulders or your knees, you can just come into half plank. So you just drop your knees, but keep pressing down through your hands, laying your shoulders round, pelvic floor lifted, navel squeezing up to spine. So everyone drop your knees now, slowly keeping your hips high, slowly lower your chin and chest through your hands, scoop the body forward, shoulders draw back, untuck your toes, low cobra. And then start to make your way back into your downward dog. So you can always transition through child's pose to come into your downward dog. And then gaze between your hands, step your left foot through, drop your back knee, chest forward, inhale. And then bring your right foot to your left foot, standing forward fold. Press down into your heels again, slowly roll up to standing. Last thing to lift is your head. Arms up and over, hands through prayer. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale halfway. Exhale. This time we're going to come into a runner's lunge. So the right foot steps forward, knee off the mat. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, come back into your plank. So from plank, you have the option of dropping down to your knees, coming through knees, chest, chin. Or this time you can come from chaturanga and then make your way to an upward dog. So if you're coming through chaturanga now, again, make sure those legs are nice and strong. Slowly shift the body forward, keep elbows above wrists, shoulders in line with your elbows. Turn your feet over, knees and thighs off the mat, and come to your upward dog. There should be no pain in your lower back or your neck here. Gazes forward, and then roll over your feet and come back to your downward dog. Gaze between your hands and step your right foot through, drop your back knee. Now make sure your right knee is directly above your right heel. Draw that left leg back as much as you need to get that stretch along the front of your left thigh. And hold it here. Make sure that right knee and toes are pointing forward, knee tracking over the toes. Once you find that stretch, you just hold it and breathe into it. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to shift your hips back, extend your front leg. Now keep the toes down onto the mat. So you just want to get that stretch along the front of that right leg. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're just drawing that torso onto the inside of that right leg. This time as you inhale, reach those toes up towards the ceiling. Keep the torso drawing down towards the inside of that leg. And then slowly shoot that leg forward again. Again, just check the knee is still above the heel, toes and knee pointing forward. Now place your left hand directly under your left shoulder and open the right arm up. Just a gentle twist. Now bring your hand down, walk your right foot an inch to the right and bring your hand to the inside of your right leg. You can just hold it there, or maybe come down to your elbows. Wherever you are, make sure that right leg is drawing the entire right arm, gazes forward. Shoulders drawing away from your ears, don't let that tension creep up into your shoulders or upper body. And then slowly make your way back up. Walk your right foot an inch to the right again, and this time keeping your heel where it is, turn your right toes to the top right corner. Left hand under your left shoulder, and you're just going to come to open that foot up, so you're resting on the outside of that right foot now. And just using your hand gently on the inner part of that right thigh to just open that hip out. Turn your torso over that leg. And you can stay there, or you can slide your left leg further back, and then bend the knee, making sure you're on the top of the thigh and not the kneecap. And use your right hand to draw that left foot in towards your left buttock. Really twisting the torso around. So either say of the first option, really working into that right hip, or second option, you're working into your left quad as well. If you've got the foot, slowly bring that foot down to the mat. Everyone, bring the right big toe to the mat, but keep the foot exactly where it is. And this time, walk your left hand forward, further up your mat, and drop that left hip down towards the floor. Use your right hand to hug that right knee into your chest. Lovely. Just lowering that left hip down to the mat. And hold it here. And then slowly climb back up. Walk that foot back to centre. Hands either side of that foot. Tuck your left toes, lift the knee, and step back into your downward dog. Maybe just pedal out your feet here. And then we're going to gaze towards our hands and step our left foot in between our hands. Drop the right knee. Again, slide that right knee as far back as you can, but make sure the left knee is stacked above your left heel and left knee and toes pointing forward. You want to find that stretch along the front of your right thigh or the outside or inside of your left leg, and just hold it there. Take an inhale, as you exhale, shoot that left hip back and extend those left toes forward. Just really stretching the front of that left leg. Take an inhale, as you exhale, just draw your torso onto the inside of that left leg. But try to keep the shoulders drawing down your back. On your next inhale, lift the toes up towards the ceiling. So try not to knock out your knee here. If you have a tendency to hyperextend, just have a slight bend in the knee. So you just don't lock that knee out by drawing it back. You always draw the knee up to the thigh. Now slowly bring yourself forward again. And bring your right hand under your right shoulder. We're just going to open the left arm up towards the ceiling. So just a gentle twist. Now slowly bring that hand back down. Rock your left foot an inch to the left and bring your hands onto the inside of your left leg. You can stay there, draw your left knee into your left arm, or come down to your elbows. Again, just draw that left leg in towards the left arm, gazes forward, and hold it there. Again, try to draw the shoulders down your back, soften the shoulders and the neck. And then walk yourself back up, bring your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Walk your left foot an inch to the left again. Keep the left toe where it is and turn the toes out. And then come to a rest on the outside of that foot. Using your left hand on the inside of that thigh, just opening up that hip, turning your torso over that leg. You can stay there, or you can slide the right leg further back so that you come to rest on the top thigh. And then use your left hand to draw that right heel in towards the right buttock. So remember, if you're coming for this second option, make sure you're not resting on your kneecap, you are resting on the top of that thigh. Otherwise, you just work in the first pose, really opening up that left hip. Now slowly lower that foot back down if you've got it raised. Bring that foot all the way back, hands either side of that foot. Tuck your toes and bring yourself back into a downward dog. Again, pedal out your feet if you need to. And then gaze between your hands. You're going to step your right foot through. Runner's lunge, inhale, chest forward. Exhale, left foot to right foot. Standing forward fold. Take a breath there. And as you inhale, you're going to roll up to standing. Arms up and over your head. Hands through prayer. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, this time you're going to step your left foot back into your runner's lunge. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, coming into your plank. So remember, you can come to half plank or full plank. And then from here, you can drop down to your knees, coming through knees, chest, chin into a low cobra. Or you can start to shoot your way into your chaturanga. And then slowly make your way into your upward dog. And finally, we'll meet in downward dog. Now from here, come back into your plank, and then scoot back into a downward dog. Lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, as you exhale, slowly coming back into your plank, bring that right knee to the top of that right arm, as high up as you can, squeeze it there, navel scooped in. Inhale, leg back to ceiling. Exhale, twist the body, draw the knee over to the top of the left arm, really twist and round. Inhale, leg towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw that knee to your chin, your nose or forehead. Really pressing down through your hands. Scoop that navel up towards the ceiling. Inhale, leg all the way up. Exhale, draw up that foot. Gaze between your hands and step that foot in between your hands, drop your back knee. So this time, I want your front leg and your back leg parallel. Again, check your front knees directly above your front heel, toes pointing forward. And now imagine so press down through your front foot and back leg. And I want you to imagine your thighs are drawing in towards each other as you lift yourself into this upright position. Everyone lift your right arm up by your ear as you inhale. As you exhale, bring the arm behind you, palm onto your sacrum, fingertips pointing down. Your torso still facing forward. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, place the back of that hand onto the outside of that right knee. So again, you're still gazing forward. Take an inhale. As you exhale, twist from your lower spine over to the right. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist from your middle spine. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, twist from your upper spine. Now you can stay here working in this position, really twisting your torso to the right. Or you're going to slowly glide your left arm down your right leg. When the elbow hooks outside that thigh, you're going to bend the elbow, bring the hand to heart center. Bring your right hand to join your left hand and really twist your torso to the right. Bring your hands to heart center. You can stay here, or you can slowly start to gaze at your right toes. Make sure you're not clenching your toes here. Tuck your left toes and lift your heel off the mat. So you come into a high lunge twist. Once you're in your high lunge twist, keep drawing that torso over to the right. Hands into heart center. So again, you can stay here gazing over your palms. Or if you want, you can bring your left hand outside your right foot and maybe just bring your right hand up into a twisted lunge with your arms wide. So choose the option that's right for you. Really focusing on the twist. And then wherever you are, slowly start to make your way out. Drop your back knee, bring your right big toe to meet your left big toe, knees hip distance wider, come to sit on your heels and come to a quick child's pose. So this time, in your child's pose, plant your elbows down into the mat and lift your hands above your head. So you're just stretching out the backs of your shoulder blades and the under the armpits and under the triceps. Just return back to your breath, breathing into the back of your body again. Now slowly extend your arms forward and start to make your way back into your downward dog. So again, just shift back into your plank. So you just want to make sure that hand and that foot position exactly the same. And then come back into your downward dog. This time, inhale, raise your left foot off the mat. And as you exhale, slowly bring your shoulders over your wrist, knee to left arm. So raise it all, lift the knee as high as you can. Squeeze navel to spine. Inhale, leg to ceiling. Exhale, twist the body, draw the knee to the top of the right arm, really squeezing navel to spine, rounding through your shoulders. Inhale, leg to ceiling. Exhale, bringing that knee to your chin, your nose, or your forehead. Again, really scoop that belly in. And then bring the leg all the way back. Drop the foot. And then step the foot in between your hands. So, we're going to bring that right knee in. Again, checking the left knee is above the left knee is above the left heel. Toes and knee pointing forward. And the front leg and back leg are parallel. Lovely. So again, really press down equally through that front foot and back leg. And then imagine your thighs are drawing in towards each other as you raise your torso into an upright position. From here, inhale that left arm up to your ear. And as you exhale, bring that arm behind you. Palm onto your sacrum, fingertips pointing down. Keep drawing that left shoulder back. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, bring the back of the hand into the outside of the left thigh. So start with your torso forward. Take an inhale as you exhale, twist from your lower spine. Inhale, Lengthen, exhale, twist from your middle spine. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist from your upper spine. So you can stay here, or you can slide your right arm down your left leg. Once your elbow hooks outside that thigh, you bend the elbow, bringing the hand to heart center, left hand to join your right hand. And then keep twisting that torso towards the left. So you really use that elbow hooked outside that leg to twist the body further. You can stay here. If you want to come into the high lunge position, you glance down towards your left toes, tuck your right toes and come into your high lunge position. And then again, turn your gaze over your hands. Make sure that back leg is strong. You can stay here, or maybe now, you can bring your right hand outside your left foot and extend that left arm up. So choose the option that's available to you and really working into that twist. Make sure you're not holding your breath. And then slowly, everyone start to make your way out. This time coming straight back into your downward dog. Then gaze between your hands. Step your left foot through into your runner's lunge. Inhale, chest forward. Right foot forward, standing forward fold. This time, just bring your feet together. Drop your chest onto your thighs. And just wrap your arms around your knee, the backs of your knees. Just allowing your hips to lift up towards the ceiling. Relax your head and shoulders here. And then slowly release your hands. Bring your feet hip distance and then roll up to standing. Arms up and over your head. Hands through prayer. Bring yourself to face me. Take a nice wide stance. Come into Warrior 2 sequence. So, turn your right toes out, left toes in. Okay, so make sure your right toes are out, left toes in. And keep your shoulders over your hips. Lovely. So let's just start with our hands on our hips and really tearing that mat in two. So really try to rip the mat in two so you start to activate your thigh muscles. Lovely. Now try not to shoot that body forward. Keep the body in the centre. Bring your hands to heart centre, palms facing down. Soften your shoulders and arms, nice active hands, and draw them away from each other. And glance over your front hand. Keep pressing down through that back foot. So we're in our Warrior 2. The weight is equally balanced between your right side and your left side. Keep lifting that pelvic floor, squeezing navel to spine. Again, don't let the shoulders creep up to the ears. Drop your back hand onto your thigh. Reverse your front hand. As you reach forward, take an inhale. As you exhale, reach that arm up and over, really extending the right side now. Don't lose the bend in that right knee. Keep drawing that knee out, don't let it collapse in. Lovely. Gaze can be down towards your back hand or up if you prefer. Keep pressing down through the back foot. Now from there, you're going to bring your front arm to rest on your front leg, but without collapsing in. Keep lifting out. If you prefer, you can bring the hand down to the mat, either onto the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot. Now slowly bring the back hand forwards and over. Turn the little finger down towards the mat and open the chest towards the ceiling. Really reaching those left fingertips forward and pressing down through that outer edge of the left foot. Just extending that left side. And then slowly, we're going to come back up to our Warrior 2. And extend that front leg. Lovely. Turn the toes in. Step the feet together. Shake it out. Nice wide stance. This time turn your left toes out, right toes in. And bend your front knee. So make sure your right toes are turned in, left toes out. Again, hands on your hips, really tear that mat into, really rip it apart. So you can feel your thighs externally rotating. Hands to heart center, relax those shoulders and arms. Active hands, imagine someone's pulling those hands from one end to the other and gaze over your front hand. So don't let that body shoot forward, make sure that body is central. Keep pressing down through that back foot. One day you want that front leg parallel to the mat. Right hand on your thigh, reverse your left hand. Inhale, reach it forward. Exhale, bring it up and over. You're trying to draw that left hip away from that left thigh. Remember, you can gaze up to your hand or down towards your backhand. Don't lose a bend in the front knee. That knee is bent and shooting outwards. Keep pressing down through that back foot. And then coming into our extended side angle pose. So remember, the arm can be on the thigh, but try not to collapse in. You're lifting out. Or you can place the hand onto the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot. Front hand forwards and over. Little finger reaching down towards the floor. Chest extending up to the ceiling. Pressing down through that outer edge of that left foot. Reaching those, right foot. Right fingertips reaching forward. And then slowly make your way back into your warrior two. Gazing over your front hand. Then bring your hands to hips. Turn your toes forward and step it in. Well done. Come to the front of your mat. Again, leave a footprint in front. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step back into your downward dog. From there, we're going to start to make our way into pigeon. So you're going to bring your right knee behind your right wrist and your right foot behind your left wrist. Then draw your left leg under. Really tuck that left hip under. From here, walk your hands either side of your hips. Extend the spine. Draw the shoulders down the back. Nice long spine. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to start to walk your hands forward and draw your torso over your front leg. Bring your forehead down to the mat. So when you're in position, you want to keep drawing that left hip under, right hip back. If your right hip is really high off the floor, you can use a cushion or a block underneath. If your forehead doesn't meet the floor, again, you can use a cushion or a block underneath your forehead. If you can, keep your arms nice and long, but if you have tight shoulders and need to bend at the elbows, that's absolutely fine. You want to find that first juicy spot and breathe into it. And try to soften the upper body here. Try to return back to the breath we started with. We're going to stay here for about a minute. Use your breath and draw that breath into any tightness you're feeling. Just noticing after a few breaths how you start to create space in that area and how eventually you start to release some of that tightness. And you can stay in this position after your next breath, or you can slowly walk your way back up. Turn your torso over your right knee, and then just bring yourself to rest over your right leg. Really working into the outer part of that right leg. Again, we're going to hold it here for another minute. And then take your final breath here. And slowly walk your way back up when you're ready. Again, bring your hands inside your hips, extend your spine to begin with. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly tuck your left toes, lift your knee, and bring yourself back into your downward dog. And maybe just pedal out your feet here, before you slowly start to make your way onto the other side, bringing your left knee behind your left wrist, left foot behind your right wrist, Really tucking that right hip under now. Hands to the side of your hips. Inhale, extend the spine. And as you exhale, slowly drawing yourself all the way down towards your mat. Again, you can use blocks or cushions as you need to under your left thigh or your forehead. Once in position, keep drawing that right hip under, that left hip back. Just as a reminder, if you have really tight shoulders, you can bend your elbows here. You don't want tension creeping up in your shoulders or neck. So just soften that area. And then again, we're going to hold this position for about a minute. So just returning back to the breath we started with and using the breath to try to create softness in some of that tightness you might be feeling. Maybe just take a moment here to observe the differences between your right and left. And again, you can stay in this position after your next breath, or after your next breath, slowly start to make your way up. Turn your torso over your left leg, and then just bring yourself all the way back down. Really just working into your left IT band here. Again, just noticing the difference between your left and your right side. And after your next full breath, slowly start to bring yourself back up. Lengthen that spine before you slowly start to make your way back into your downward dog. So do whatever you need to before we slowly start to make our way down to our mat. So if you need to just walk out your feet, maybe extend one leg to the ceiling then the other. And then when you're ready, drop your knees down to the mat. You're just going to make yourself way to a seated position. Extend the legs out in front of you. Just draw the flesh from underneath your sit bones so you come into this nice upright position. And then bring your left knee into your chest. Let your left knee draw out as you bring that left foot onto the inside of that right thigh. So if that left knee is really high up, you can place a block or cushion underneath to act as support. Then turn your torso over your right leg. Take an inhale, draw those shoulders down your back to keep the spine nice and long. And as you exhale, draw your chest over your legs. So try not to round in by dropping your forehead. Keep your gaze forward. Keep your head, neck in line with your spine. Remember that legs nice and active, toes reaching up to the ceiling, knee facing up to the ceiling. Make sure that right sit bone is rooted into the mat. So wherever you are, you just work into that position. If you've got a really, really tight hamstring, just have a slight bend in the knee. You might notice after a few deep breaths, you can slowly start to work your way closer towards your leg. And then slowly bring yourself up. Bring that knee back up, extend that leg. Again, pull the flesh from underneath your sit bone. You want to bring yourself to a nice upright position. Then bend your right knee. Drop the knee out to the side, bringing your foot onto the inside of your left thigh. Again, use a block or cushion if you need to. Turn your torso over the left leg. Left leg nice and active. Take an inhale. And then exhale, hands either side of your legs, just walking that chest down towards your thigh. So again, keep shooting that left hip back. Bend in your knee if you have a really tight hamstring. And try to keep the spine nice and long. So try not to round in here. Keep your shoulders joined down your back. Remember, it's your chest over your thigh rather than your forehead. And with each breath, you might just notice yourself creating space so that you can go a little bit further. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back up. Bring your feet onto the mat, slide yourself down your mat and bring yourself to lie down.
So start by drawing your knees into your chest and just have a gentle hug in, just bringing your spine into its natural position. And then we're going to come into a happy baby pose. So again, you want the soles of your feet parallel to the ceiling. You're even going to grab the outsides of your legs, the inside of your feet, the big toes with your index and middle finger, or the outside of your feet. So choose the option that's right for you. Try not to lift that lower back off the mat, so keep it drawing down into the mat. And then you're going to draw the knees out to the side, so really just opening those hips a little bit further. Maybe just noticing how much more open they feel to when we started today's class. And then maybe just have a gentle rock from side to side here. Try not to lift your shoulders off the mat, so keep your head and shoulders pressing down. And then just come to a still happy baby, drawing the knees down towards the outer edge. And keep breathing. Try not to let that lower back lift. And then draw the knees back into the chest. Gentle hug here. Lengthen your legs down onto the spine, down along the mat. We're going to slowly make our way to our final pose, Shavasana. So if you need any extra layers here or need to switch off the lights, now's the time. And then when you're in Shavasana, you want everything to just soften onto the mat. Everything to just release now. So slowly let your feet splay out to the sides. Soften your legs and your thighs. Soften your hands, your forearms and your arms. Arms are down by your sides, palms facing up, fingertips rolling in. Softening your front body into your back body, and the back body just melts down into the mat. Release any tension at the back of your neck, your face and jaw. Just allow everything to become relaxed. Maybe take one last scan of the body. If you are holding on to any tension, maybe just take a couple of deep breaths here. And just draw that breath down to any tightness you're feeling. And then slowly start to soften the area around your eyes, your cheeks and your forehead. Keep that gaze towards your third eye as we bring ourselves into Shavasana. So to really reap the benefits of today's practice, you want to try and stay in Shavasana for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Namaste.